The night was quiet, super still, the leaves barely rustling where they stretched across the road. Surely the small whispers they hissed were the ghosts Faith loved to dream about. Standing in the middle of the road, Jace shoved his hands into his pockets and just waited. He was early by 20 minutes, but he couldn't lay around and pretend to sleep in that trailer for one more second when he knew he had something good to look forward to. He rocked back on his heels, tipped his head back, and looked to the stars. Anxious, excited, and somehow feeling guilty that he'd convinced her to do this. It really hadn't taken all that much. It wasn't like they hadn't been sneaking off to meet here almost every day after school. It was just the first time they decided to do it in the middle of the night. He felt it the second she stumbled out of the thicket of trees up the road, coming from where she was spending the night with her best friend. His attention immediately jerked that way, his breath hitching at the base of his throat when he saw her. All chocolate hair and chocolate eyes and everything sweet. A rumble clattered through his body, shaking him up, making him feel like he'd stolen into a place he didn't belong, but would pretend that he did forever if it meant he got to stay. For a beat, they just stared across the space, both of them frozen. But then she started running below the blanket of the night, a milky glow all around her, looking exactly like that angel Jace knew her to be. 2 feet away, she threw herself at him, jumping into his arms. He wrapped her tight, hugged her close, breathed her in as he spun her around. God, she smelled delicious. Vanilla and roses, felt so right. He could feel the force of his smile as he held her. "You came," he whispered into the still, still night. Carefully, he set her back onto her feet, but didn't let her get far. He reached out to snatch her delicate hand so he could thread their fingers together. She was all red blushes and shy grins when she peeked up at him. "Of course I came. I told you I would."
Rays of blinding light streaked through the moss-covered branches that stretched across the old dirt road like a living canopy. It was a road we'd walked together what seemed like 1,000 times. It was our secret spot, our sacred spot. He stared at me from where he stood 5 feet from me, big hands stuffed into the pockets of his ripped jeans and guilt written on the lines of his perfect face. "I don't care what anyone thinks." The words poured from my mouth, begging for him to hear, to listen, to finally truly understand. "I don't care what kind of trouble we're in. The only thing that matters to me is that you're standing right there in front of me." Sadness crested his features, face masculine and striking. Every time I looked at him, it twisted something deep inside me. My love for him was bigger, more important than anything else in my small little world. But that was the thing when I looked at him. I saw great things, a future spanning out in front of us that would go on forever. But it was the expression he wore this afternoon that scattered the butterflies in a shock of fear and sent dread gushing in to take their place. "It doesn't matter, Faith. How can you say that?" His voice was bitter and hard, every bit of disgust cast at himself. I took a pleading step forward. "It doesn't. The only thing that matters is you and me." He took a weary step back. It kicked up a plume of dust to hover around his old worn shoes. "You matter, Faith. Who you are and who you're going to be matters, and I won't stand in the way of that any longer." Tears burned my eyes. "No." He shook his head. "I'm sorry. The last thing I ever wanted to do was hurt you, but that seems to be the only thing I can do. What happened last night is proof of that. It ends right now." His broad shoulders heaved as he forced himself to turn around, bitterness and self-imposed rage coming from him in waves as he started up the road. Panic filled my chest, a crushing force against my aching heart. I rushed for him. "Jace, please, don't do this. Don't leave me." My fingertips brushed down his back. I swore that I could see the snap of energy crackle from the connection, the way it had always been. This boy, my fire. I could feel his burn when he whirled around. A gasp raked from my lungs when he suddenly captured my face in both of his hands. Those eyes searched my face.